Annyeong, welcome to Hallyujuku, starring Brandon Cooper and myself, PD Rave. This is episode 58. Dio's not mad, he's just disappointed. Enjoy! Buenos nachos amigos, and welcome to another fine episode of Hallyujuku, your portal to the world of East Asian pop culture. Or not. I don't know. I'm not your boss. I'm Petey Rave, your man with no plan. Here with me is my buddy, Brandon Cooper, aka King Cass, over actually this way. Not that way. This way. How you doing, Cass?
Trying to figure out which way to move to put that bear in the frame. There it is. There it is. Look at that motherfucking bear. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the goddamn show, Hallyujuku, where we talk about East Asian pop culture, mostly K-pop. But we pretend like we talk about all of East Asian pop culture. What are you gonna do? There's a lot of shit out there. We need interns. What do you want from me?
we need help in many ways. But we're first, of course, we have our routines. We talk about what's new with us, what's caught our attention, what for lack of a better word, what have we dotting, to borrow a phrase from Anime 3000 podcast, because I like stealing shit. Cass, what have you been dotting?
I will say this, right? I'm all caught up on, what is that show? What is it?
Healer?
What is it called? It's a show, and all the thing, and we watched it. No Mercy. I'm all caught up on No Mercy. I watched that last episode, and PD had told me beforehand it was kind of all filler. So if you're kind of keeping up with No Mercy and you might be an episode or two behind, it's all filler. New guy comes, they get mad, then they have to work together. Yeah,
they start working together.
Yeah. It's really no way around that. And the one thing, hold on, you know what? Now that I have said this, right, and now that I did say it was all Phil, there is one thing I do want to bring up that it bothered me just a tad hair, a tad dick hair, if you want to say, like a little teeny little fucking pube. Is Mad Clown's consistent picking at Shotgun?
Yes, it's like
I like Shotgun, and I'm pretty sure you like Shotgun, and it seems kind of general that everybody seems to think Shotgun is pretty good.
Yeah.
Except for Mad Clown. Mad Clown is the only person who's like, nah, you're shit, bro. like
what?
Every single time. Like, I don't think he's given Shotgun one good compliment on that show.
Yeah. It's like you're old fashioned and you're blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, okay. Who are you?
Well, I mean, it is who he is. Like, when you take a look at Korean hip hop as a whole, who are you? But
taking that aside, yeah, he is a little hard on him.
Even fucking Vasco was like, okay, Shotgun's pretty fucking good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, and I love, not only is Shotgun really good, but he's freaking hilarious. Like,
yes,
his personality is hilarious. And I have to say, my one thought is I'm glad that whole fight was a practical joke, because I was afraid that it was going to become one of those shows. I'm like, no, don't go there. Don't start doing those things. And it's like, oh, it's a practical. Okay, good.
Okay, first of all, right, I started watching it, and then this thought came into my mind, right, of Mikyun and Shotgun fighting, right? And I went, there's no way Mikyun is the tough guy in that.
Like, I mean, aside from like the fact that he is older, like he doesn't feel like he'd be the guy to like start something with somebody. Like,
right. And I mean, yeah, Shotgun was the one starting it, right? But look at them, right? Look at Shotgun, and then look at this kid. He has on 2 sweaters, and you can still tell he's skinny as shit. like,
yeah.
like,
it's like,
so,
no, he would never pull it, shotgun like that. No, but like, I don't know. It was one of those things where I'm glad it was just a prank because I didn't want the show to become that.
right.
But it was a funny moment in the end. But yeah, No Mercy. Kind of filler this week. Hopefully, I'm looking forward to seeing the performances this upcoming episode. Hopefully pretty soon we'll get that new episode. Oh, actually, it's gonna be it should be this Wednesday.
So yeah, we'll get that new episode. We'll get to see these performances. Now, here's the other thing that kind of plagued my mind about the way these next performances are set up is it's set up with audience votes as well, right?
Yeah.
And you haven't watched Show Me the Money yet, but a big thing that they talked about on Show Me the Money with having a lot of things divvied by audience vote, because Show Me the Money is very heavily audience vote as well in its latter half of the show, is guys who have kind of been out there longer are always going to garner the audience more, even if they're not better. Right? Yeah. So there was all this talk of the idols are going to fucking get a lot of votes no matter what. And Vasco's going to get a lot of votes no matter what because he's fucking Vasco. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, he's been in the underground hip hop scene in Korea for a long time, and people already respect the fuck out of him. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the guys who are the judges came up listening to Vasco. You know? So you had this thing, or, just whatever, where it was just like, and a lot of that did translate for Vasco, where Vasco got a lot of fucking votes just out of the gate for being fucking Vasco. So you come to this thing where it is very clearly like, okay, these people produce the tracks and some of them are on the track with the guys from No Mercy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there may be this little bit of a thing where you may tarnish the vote a little bit because people are going to be like, I'm going to fucking vote for Vasco. You know? Yeah. Like... Because even in that situation, Gilly Boy lost a lot of shit to Vasco and other people because they were Vasco and Bobby and B.I. and Otelli. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's just a lot of that shit. And even thus, I'm going to say this, right? Like, I like Gilly Boy's beat.
Yeah.
Maybe Gilly Boy should stick to making beats.
Yeah, maybe. Just maybe.
Because his beat is so good. His beat is really good.
All right, so once we talk about we had our No Mercy talk. But yeah, what's new music wise with you?
So music-wise, because I had realized we didn't have a show last week, so I definitely wanted to bring this up. But Zion T, a gentleman that we are both very familiar with and like, put out a new song featuring Crush called Just. And man, it is Zion T in your motherfucking ears. And if you don't like Zion T in your ears, you were listening to the wrong fucking show.
Yes. It's just to putting that out there. Just
yes. Because me and PD really like Zion T. And
True facts with King Kaz.
Yeah. I don't know. I just really like Zion T. I like his kind of weird style that he has, and I love the arrangement of his music. And this is something very in his wheelhouse. Like, this isn't like a big divergence, but it's a lot slower than normal. Usually it's a little bit more upbeat. But this is definitely in fucking Zion T's wheelhouse. And I think a little bit more, it's a little bit outside of Crush's wheelhouse a little more, because I'm used to more high beat, fun R&B stuff from Crush. So hearing Crush in this mix with Zion T was really, really cool.
Yeah, yeah. It's a really cool, like, slow tune. It had just a smooth feel to it, and it was nice. It had, kind of a cool video too. Like the style of it is really cool. Kind of, I don't know necessarily if it has any kind of a story, but it has a bunch of cool imagery, which is what matters, and feels very wintry, being the winter time now. Feels very wintry, which I've never seen winter, so it's good to see it vicariously do that.
It's a cute thing when there's an inch of snow on the ground. It's a fucking bitch and a half when there's 5 or more.
Yeah, yeah. I understand that. But yeah, Zion T. Gotta get some Zion T in your ears. But yeah, what else you got for us?
So let's see what else I got on here. I'm gonna ruin this. Hanhee.
Hanhee.
I don't know. I want to say Hanhee. Featuring a D minor called Man of the Year. Very kind of upbeat, fun R&B style song. Artist I'm not super familiar with, but I don't know. I enjoyed it. Like, it's not something I'm going to come back to a lot, but I definitely did enjoy this kind of party feel mixed song, like very, very smooth R&B rap style. So something you could play at a party.
Something you can jam at a party. Like, it's like a little bit like some of Kendrick Lamar's songs, but without, saying bitch don't kill my vibe. Or vibes if you're Taeyong. But yeah, it's a fun party track.
Somebody didn't tell him. There's a B in there, Taeyong.
Vibe. It's really, it's like understanding the Korean consonants. How is the B the one that he has a problem with? The V is the one. Like, I understand if he said, "Baby, don't kill my vibe," I'd get that. V is not a V. The V is not a sound, and it's not a Korean consonant. But how do you, vibe? It's like when you hear people say a piece, say "beautiful," "beautiful." Yeah. It's like, or "beautiful," beautiful. I understand "beautiful," but it's like "beautiful" or something like that. I'm like, it's like. It's just a weird thing. But that aside, this is a really cool track from Hanhee.
Yeah.
Man of the Year. It's kind of like this, like, I'm so cool, like, R&B track. Like,
definitely.
It has a cool swagger and whatnot. I like it. But yeah. Last but not least.
So I got another
Gekko.
one. I thought I did this one. I wasn't sure. But then at the same time, I was like, you think I give a fuck? It's a fucking Gekko song. If I did it once, I'm going to do it again. I don't give a fuck. So it's Gekko featuring a few different people. You got Yankee on here, Benzino, and Babylon, a song called Cheers. Holy shit, dude. This is a fun fucking song. And a fun video too, man. And fucking... Gekko is just an awesome rapper, and fucking so is Benzino, and the other guys on here held their own. They're not people I'm super familiar with, but fuck, this was such a fun song.
Yeah, Yankee featured on the same track Gekko featured on Epic High's album, which is Burj Khalifa. Burj Khalifa.
Oh, yeah. Khalifa.
It was Epic. Burj Khalifa with Yankee and Gekko.
You want to hear a fucking amazing song? Go listen to that Epic High Khalifa song. So good. But no, I'm not gonna undercut this song. This song is so fucking fun. Like, it is so fucking fun.
Yeah. Babylon does some great singing on there. Yankee does well. Gekko is, Gekko, like Benzino doing his Benzino thing, and
yes.
Look at this Babylon kid doing his chest popping, trying to be Taeyong. Like, I see what you're doing there. You chest pops.
Yeah, and I love Benzino's part. Benzino's part is so fun.
Yeah,
like Benzino kind of has this like kind of as weird as it sounds, he has this kind of really plain voice. So he lives a lot on his lyrics, you know?
Yeah.
Like, his lyrics are really fun.
Yeah. Like, he writes really cool songs, yeah. But yeah, this is a really cool track. It's just all around. And like the video is really cleverly done and simple. Like, just keep it simple, stupid. Like, it's just, there you go. Once again,
the singing parts have all the dancing in it, and the rappers just kind of rap and jam out. Like,
yeah, just simple. But yeah,
and I mean, it's just such like. We were talking about the last song as something you could play at a party. This is a song I think if you put on at almost any party that would play hip hop, nobody would even fucking like realize it was Korean for a minute.
Yeah,
they'd just be fucking jamming out. Like, oh my.
It's like, this is my new jam.
Right.
But yeah, Gecko. Gotta love Gecko. And there's choices there. Yeah, just chilling out. But yeah.
And I love the way it was also arranged as well, where you had like Yankee first, Babylon, Benzino, and then Gecko comes on at the end, even though it's his song, to kind of cap it. You know what I'm saying?
It's like the main event.
Which is just, yes, it was so cool.
This is the main event. Yeah,
definitely,
like
definitely my song of like this week. Go fucking check this song out. It's so fucking good.
Yeah. Cheers to you. So I have a couple things that are new. Before the music. First, I wanted to bring this up last week, but I forgot, and I wanted to posit an idea before I get into like the things that were new this week. I wanted to posit the idea that. From now on, we're going to go ahead and say that whatever is that one thing that nobody will let you live down is officially your plastic pants.
Okay.
Yes. So, like, say, your haiku is your plastic pants. The time I accidentally deleted 3 episodes of Record Breakers, and and 2 of which I never recovered. Those are my plastic pants, The time Curly accidentally started streaming in the middle of masturbating. Those are his plastic pants. It's a perfect thing to just say.
Why is his crotch facing me though?
I think he's just trying to tell you something. Tell you what, he's just saying, hey, Cass.
Yes, but still, I'm gonna move over here for a minute. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But yeah, that aside, I wanted to talk about. So I've talked about this show Pinocchio. So a couple of things. The show Pinocchio, I mentioned it before. I don't know if I mentioned that I finished it up. The show finished and I finished with it. It ended really well. I think the story is really good. The characters are really fun. Like, where it went as far as like the main, like, big arc, progressed well. It ended kind of, your typical drama ending where it's like, okay, a year later, now everything's resolved and yay. And then the wedding and, it is what it is. But like, it's a show that I had to say about Pinocchio, and I'm going to say it again about the show that the other show that I gotten into. This is a show where the characters and I think the writing and the kind of the world they presented. This is one of those that could have worked as a multi-season. All right, we have season 1. That's you build on a big arc, but have the middle season arc, and then continue on the next season while keeping things at a good pace. Because, like I think I've said this a couple of times, where as many really great, really cool stories, really great shows that are being produced, especially now in Korea. They kind of are trapped in this format. They're kind of stuck in this format, which I understand that it's the way it's always been, but I would love to see some people get an opportunity to do something more with a TV show with the way of course, this is just me coming from an assumption of one way of way TV is supposed to be, and it's just like I'm imposing something that I know onto something that I'm not as familiar with, but it's just something like I think.
I'm gonna say this, right? I think we've praised it more for the shorter format than we are ever going to say, damn, I wish that was longer, right? I think I wish that was longer is going to come once in a blue moon rather than where the whole like, oh, oh man, shit, like, because a lot of these shows like My Lovely Samson, First Shop of Coffee Prince, right? Good pacing. Even Airs, with all its flaws, good pacing. So there is always going to be those exceptions where we go, man, I wish that continued. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish, in a certain sense that, Iris from that first season kind of just kept going that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I would have loved that story to keep going, and have more twist and turns and things like that. And just lead to more and more people and more things and other stuff. Like, you could have killed that character off and kept going. You know what I'm saying? Like, which I just, for those out there, I didn't spoil anything, but I can. No. But even with Iris, like we both watched it to the end. You enjoyed it. I fucking thoroughly enjoyed it. And you get to that end where it ends on a fucking question mark. And there is a second season, but it doesn't really embrace everything that the first season had because it kind of stopped short. You know what I'm saying? Like it stops, and then there's this time, and then there's new writing that happened because it was like, okay, well, we could continue with this show, kind of thing.
Yeah. But I think I definitely agree. Like that, there are some shows that are perfectly fit to the format, and historically they've just kind of fit. Like First Shop of Coffee Prince, My Lovely Samsoon. It's Okay, That's Love is another show that they pace it perfectly. And began, middle, end was just the right amount of, the right amount of episodes. Like the story went, exactly where it needed to go and ended at a good place. So, I wish there were opportunities for people that can write multi-seasons to do so. But, another thing I will say about Pinocchio, I'm glad that this show came along and I enjoyed it as much as I did. For specifically, and this is going to sound weird to anybody who's from more experience with Korean dramas. From what I've seen, there's she has her own fan base for obvious reasons. In my mind, it redeemed Park Shin-hye, the lead actress, coming off of Airs, like coming off of her performance on Airs, where she played this thoroughly dislikable character that's supposed to be your female lead. To this, where she played a really fun character that I actually thoroughly enjoyed and had a lot of fun with. It completely redeemed it, and I'm looking forward to checking out more of her like actual other shows. Now with the idea that she can play likable characters. It's the writer's fault. Again, freaking errors. But yeah. Pinocchio, really fun show. Check it out. It's a really cool show. But checking out that show made me finally get around to checking out the show that I'd been meaning to watch before, but decided to kind of actually sit down and get through it. Which was the first pairing of, I believe, the writer of Pinocchio and Lee Jung-suk. Which was I Hear Your Voice. This is the writer and lead actor kind of this is the first time with each other. Well, I don't know about first time, but this was before. It's kind of like this one was I imagine the popularity of this probably gave the writer clout to be able to get support for creating Pinocchio eventually. And you can definitely see some elements that you find in Pinocchio. I Hear Your Voice stars Lee Jong-suk as kind of this kid who, due to a car accident when he was a kid, is able to hear other people's thoughts, especially if he looks into their eyes.
That sounds cheesy.
It sounds cheesy. That's understandable. Now, I will say, they fill the world of this show out with enough likable characters, and they underplay that ability well enough. Like, it's not something that he is constantly doing every episode at all times. It's just at the right moments. Similarly to the Pinocchio syndrome in Pinocchio, they know when to apply it and when to kind of just forget about it. Like, there's entire episodes where it's not around. Like, he doesn't read anybody's thoughts. And, like, they know when to apply it, and, when it's useful, and they know not to overdo it. It seems a little cheesy, but it works well in the context of the show. It has a really likable female lead. It has a bunch of really likable characters. And this is the show that I tweeted out that, I don't know if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, I tweeted out that this is a show that gave me my first instance of second lead syndrome. Of, like, wanting the second lead to be, shipping the second leads. Because eventually, this was early on in the show, eventually it kind of like, okay, they developed the relationship between the two primary leads well enough that, okay, I went in and I bought in on that. But I really wanted Attorney Cha to get the girl, because he's hilarious, and he's such a good guy, and, like, he's such a perfect, I think for the first time, this is literally the first time where I'm like, why not that guy? Because usually, you have those secondary male leads, and they're like, you're kind of there to be the rival, and, like, at least for me, I've never really bought into the secondary male lead as a possible, option. They just kind of were there, even for shows that I've enjoyed. Like, I was like, no, it's about these two. You're there as a distraction. I know that you're there and it's a distraction. But this is my first time actually, like, need to have it be that guy. That guy. Come on, go with that guy. But yeah, it is I think a really well done show, really well written show. I can definitely see where things improved when they went over to Pinocchio. A lot of the elements in the filmmaking of the show improved a lot with Pinocchio, but this one has a lot of the elements that I thoroughly enjoyed in Pinocchio. It was fun. It was funny. It had a really good story that kind of played on really interesting themes of justice and revenge, and if you get revenge, do you become just as bad as the person you're seeking revenge on? Blah blah blah. But it's really well done. And I think people should check it out. I Can Hear Your Voice, or I Hear Your Voice. It's on Drama Fever. It's really good. And it's really well done. It's fun characters. All right, so I'm going to try to go through the music real quick. One thing I have started, at least a little bit, Project PD Studies Trot, the Trot 101. I've looked at a couple of things. I wanted to bring up one thing that I kind of already known about because he was on Roommate and he was on a couple of shows that I've seen before. And that's Park Hyun Bin. He's been around for a while. This is from a performance on Music Core back in 2008. You can see 2008.
Can I also say you can't give me any music clip that starts with fucking Sungiro and Daesung in fucking glittery ass jackets.
TV shows that I like, and I was checking out. They finally came out. KBS World released the episode on which Mamamoo performed the song Chankarman or Wait a Minute. I'm gonna play the kind of the original KBS K-pop without the English subs, but they released it on KBS World, roughly on schedule 3 weeks after the original air date. And it was a fantastic performance. You know, it's Mamamoo being Mamamoo, and they just kind of showing their dynamic, playing classic like Korean music. They got a ton of praise the entire episode by all the other singers, and it was just a fun performance. What did you think of that?
I thought it was cool. Like it started out, really slow and soulful, and they went into, like you said, their kind of more Mamamoo style and made it their own. And I thought it was really interesting and nice. Like, there's not much I can say about it because I like Mamamoo, and it feels like we're just overpraising them. I think like at this point, I think we're getting paid, and I'm wondering where the check is now.
It's we're promoting Mamamoo. It's just I stand them so hard. I can't help it. But yeah, they got a ton of praise. But one of the main things is that I love watching these shows is that I will watch them. I will, motivate myself to watch a show based on somebody that I know being there. But I will watch the whole show, not just a cut. People, with those goddamn cuts. I understand that's the only thing you care about, but I want to watch the whole show. But part of that, because I get to discover different personalities that I hadn't heard of before, and I just discover other singers. And one of those was Sun Seung-yeon, aka Sonnet Sun. She had a really cool performance on this show. That was nice. But they showed previews from her previous appearances, and one of those was her performing Bohemian Rhapsody, which I had to check out.
Yeah.
So this is Sun Seung-yeon, aka Sonnet Sun, performing Bohemian Rhapsody back in I want to say August, somewhere September. No, back on a previous episode back in November specifically. Okay, November.
But no, I'm not gonna shit on Beyonce. Beyonce's good, but. It's one of those things where I know this song. I've heard this song so many times. So those slight little things that you're like, whoa, huh,
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of quick tempo parts in Bohemian Rhapsody, especially like in Galileo part in there. It's really quick and the tempo is fast. And I think that part is where she got lost a little bit.
Yeah.
She kind of started doing the opera thing, like, I don't know what to do.
By an interesting artist that I'm going to keep an eye on for, especially not just on this show, but whatever she does. Sonnet Sun. I'm going to keep an eye out for her. But that's it for what's new with us this week. We're going to talk about some headlines now.
Headlines?
Headlines.
I'm still saying, I thought you did a good job. I'm just saying, it's one of those songs,
Yeah.
like you're always gonna have some issue with it when someone else sings a song that you really, really know.
Yeah, it's like I've done a decade of karaoke. I know the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Not that this is. Well, let's move on. Headlines. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at the headlines section, your area for topical topics and whatnot. I don't know how best to describe it, but we're going to just talk about some of the things that headlines, articles, things that caught my attention. All right, let's get started.
Yeah.
First headline: 20 overlooked South Korean movies that are worth watching from the Taste of Cinema blog. Something that Soompi caught my attention to. So credits to Soompi for letting us know about this, specifically the number one option. So, this is a really cool, like, interesting list, and I had to say, of the movies that I've seen on this list, I definitely agree with their inclusion. So we kind of go through them. I'll talk about the first one that they include here, Punch.
Yeah.
Have you seen Punch?
No, I went through this list a little bit earlier before we started talking about these, and there are a lot of these I have not seen that sound super interesting. Now, I'm going to say this right off the bat. A lot of the more like kind of Korean gangster actiony movies definitely catch me a lot more than the soulful ones do.
Yeah.
So like those will probably be the ones I check out over the soulful ones, just because I am not a real soulful movie guy.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go in depth with all the movies, but I did want to talk about Punch. Punch is a really, really good coming of age story. Really good, well acted, really interesting movie. Has really a lot of like, basically, like I said, a lot of good acting, writing, emotional moments. It's very interesting, really cool. Like the story goes, a lot of cool in places. It's like it has an indie feel to it, and with good reason. Like, it is a really cool movie, and I'm kind of bummed out because when I checked it out, it was on Netflix streaming, and it's not there anymore, and I'm kind of bummed because having it there was a big reason why I wanted to check it out. Like, it is really well done and it's really well made. Like, I think people should check it out. There's a bunch of other movies like Oasis that I haven't checked out. The Day a Pig Fell into the Well just looks interesting. Just like, like art film style, like murder movie. Spin Kick. Really looks interesting. Haunters has my
Spin Kick
attention.
looks really interesting.
Yeah, Haunters definitely looks interesting just on the premise alone. Like these competing psychics, battling each other. Like that one looks interesting. Things like Crocodile has a really cool premise. Hard Day has a cool premise. No Manners seems like it'd be a funny movie. You had a couple other entries. The Unjust has a dude with like a winking eye and bleeding from his eye, so that's interesting. And it starts off with I imagine a fascinating, like a probably a gripping movie just on the fact that it starts with a young girl getting raped and murdered, and then you start from there. Like, Castaway on the Moon is a really, really good movie. This is one of the movies that I checked out a while back. It's no longer on Netflix. Again, I checked it out on Netflix. It's no longer on there, and I'm really bummed out. It is a really well made movie. It stars Jung Jae-young, as well as Jung Ryo-won, who some may know specifically as being in My Lovely Samsoon. She was the kind of the secondary female lead, the one that came over with Daniel Henney, the one with the stomach cancer. She plays basically a hikiku. What's the word with the recluse? Is it the Japanese word hikikomori?
Hikikomori. Hikikomori.
Yeah, more or less. And she's like,
welcome to the NHK.
Yeah, an agoraphobic girl, and then he plays a suicidal failed businessman who tries to kill himself, but ends up surviving. Tries to jump in the Han River to kill himself, ends up surviving and stranded on an island in the middle of the Han River with that has a bridge over it, but you can't really get up on it, and he can't swim, so he can't swim back to the city. So he's stranded on a deserted island in the middle of Seoul. Like, he could see one half of Seoul on one side, the other half of Seoul on the other side, but he can't get to it all, and he's stuck, and he kind of just resigns to the fact that he's stuck. And he's like, well, might as well make the most of it. And he had these like moments of him, and a lot of quiet moments, a lot of like calm moments, him trying to make jjajangmyeon, like his mission of like making noodles from scratch, finding a salt substitute, growing corn from
Mhm.
from whatever little seeds he can find. Like it turns this to this whole thing of like just him like resigning himself into this
I
life as a stranded person.
I want to watch this now. I think this should be
Yeah,
a Hallyujuku's talk. Like of all the ones so far, that one seems the most interesting. You
yeah,
know,
it is. It is.
especially to me of the kind of stories that I like. Like that one really
Yeah,
seems interesting.
yeah.
Can I
If
can
you
I
can
say
find it,
can I jump down the line a little bit
yeah, let's go.
because the movie Sunny to me looks like Korean How Stella Got Her Groove Back.
Yeah. It can be, but it's not really.
I
So
know
there's a
it's
bunch of
not,
other.
but look at that motherfucking
Yeah, yeah.
picture, and you tell me that that's not
It's
Korean
like, well,
How Stella Got Her Groove Back.
yeah, it totally can. It totally looks like that. But I will say, Sunny is a really funny movie, really sweet movie. It has a lot of really cool like because it jumps back and forth between modern times, 2011 and the 80s, and like they have these moments where it kind of like all the camera does is pan over to the left, and suddenly you're in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Like the characters are there, and it's like. And then it does these transitions that are almost kind of seamless, and the characters are really interesting. Like the young version of all the characters are hilarious. Like it was a star-making role for one of the actresses, which I really want to name, but I can't off the top of my head. But she also featured on Modern Farmer, the drama that I was watching recently. She was hilarious on that. Kind of being the foul-mouthed girl, the master cursor. Like that was her role. She was the master cursor, and they would have curse-off battles with their rival gang. And then one of the best scenes of the movie is where these two rival schoolgirl gangs have a rumble basically, but in the middle of these big democratization riots. Where cops and like the democratization movement, this is back in the 80s, kind of are rumbling, and they kind of draws this comparison between like these like factions warring to little girls having a slap fight. Like it does draw kind of a cool comparison, like in the movie making wise, filmmaking wise. It's really cool. And it's really fun and funny. It's ultimately really sweet about like just the bonds of friendship, friendship. And then silence is, I think silence. I kind of went over it when I talked about it previously.
We did an episode on silence.
Yeah,
we
did a whole
talked
episode
about it.
So check out our Hallyujuku
like,
talks. But yeah, it's an amazing movie. Like it is just a well-made, smart, heart-wrenching movie.
Yeah, it's a good gripping thriller. Like,
yeah, Gong Yi's performance is just off the charts. Like, if you only know him from like being that like the dreamy male lead on Coffee Prince, check him out on this because like this will show you his range as an actor. Like he's just talented, and I love to check him out. And then I have no idea what Moss is, but I'm looking to check it out. A couple of honorable mentions. I think they mentioned a movie here somewhere. The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. And I think they mentioned it on this movie, in this somewhere. I don't know if it's a listing, or at the very least as honorable mention. But or did they mention? Or maybe I just saw it on Netflix. I think I just saw
maybe you just saw it on Netflix. Yeah,
possibly. But that's another movie that I wanted to check out. But I think that one's more popular. All right. Aside from that, all right, a bunch of really cool movies, and I'm gonna try to check these out. Not all streaming, sadly enough. So you're gonna have to do your thing. Like you said, neither is My Sassy Girl, but I've seen it, so just know that it's possible. But Silenced is on Hulu Plus. I will say Silenced is on Hulu Plus. Go check it out. It's a fantastic movie. But yeah, moving on to more headlines. Traditional wood-carved guitars prove Japan is the most metal. I don't know why this was a question, We know Japan is the most metal, but here's some proof for you. Japan is known throughout the world for finding harmonious ways of combining traditional design and aesthetics with modern ideals and technology. You can see it everywhere: Japanese architecture, eating utensils, even smartphone tablet cases, and pop music. So it should come as no surprise when there's Japanese electric guitars that have been handcrafted out of wood following traditional carving techniques. Oh, and did we mention that you can order them online? This is really cool.
Yeah.
This is just traditional wood carving, but with pickups and strings, and you can play metal music on them or whatever music you want to. So let's see some examples. The lion guitar.
Yeah, these are fucking cool, man. Like, I'm not really into instruments. It's not my thing, but these are fucking cool. Like, there's no way around saying these are cool.
Yeah, this is just the way that kind of it's the way it's shaped and like positioned, like how symmetrical it is, putting the knobs in the ears. I think it's just the design is really cool. Then you have the moon reflection guitar. A little bit more mellow. Well, let's say
I mean, it's still fucking crazy because, like, and hold on. When we say you can order these, look at the price because that's not you can order this. No, motherfucker, you are going to have to fucking take out a mortgage and give up your first motherfucking born.
The Lion guitar comes in at a whopping 440,000 yen, or about $3,700. The Moon Reflection guitar comes in at about $8,000. About a million yen, basically. You have the Bird bass guitar, comes in at $1.5 million yen, $12,000. Yeah. Then last but not least, you have, if you're talking about any creature in Japanese lore, you're talking about the dragon, but not just a dragon and the guitar is shaped like a sword. It's the dragon sword. It costs damn near 2 million yen, but still, it's a dragon sword. That's all you gotta say right there. It's
like what? I mean, what else are you supposed to say?
It is jamming it out, probably playing some Rush or some shit. Yeah. But yeah, I would love for somebody I know to buy one of these guitars, because I never will, because I can't play guitar. But if somebody I knew bought it, I would love to go over and try one out and play horribly on it. But yeah, check them out. All right, moving on. So, EXO's Dio is not mad. He's just disappointed with the situation.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Fucking Angry White Dad. Go check out some old King Casby for that one.
Yes. EXO's Dio resents having to raise EXO-L as children along with being an idol. There is a great fan cam video of EXO at an event where the fans were being a little unruly. They were trying to get them kind of in a line, trying to get them, organized so that they're not like, and apparently somebody fell down. Apparently, according to translation, somebody fell down. They're trying to get everybody like, all right, help that person up, start with the people that fell down. Let's get everybody organized. And at some point, it's like, Dio steps in. It's like, all right, wait a minute. I'm disappointed right now. I'm really disappointed. I don't want to be having to hear people talking about EXO-Ls as EXO fans as being unorganized and crazy. I'm really disappointed with y'all. Rough translation. They more or less, you got to stay safe. You got to stay safe. And it's like they're trying to organize them. It's like, you know what? If you're gonna be like this, maybe it's better that we just step off the stage for a little while. And then they therefore went ahead and stepped off the stage. Just turned and walked off. Because they had to treat their fans like children. This is kind of hilarious, but it's one of those disappointing aspects of being an EXO fan is that it's such a large, passionate fan base that there's such a large bad apple bunch that it's kind of it can't help but be disappointed as as one of the many EXO-L that just kind of dig the group and are passionate about it, but don't act like idiots. Like, even there's another article on Asian Junkie where they talk about how even EXO-L are annoyed by EXO-L. 'Cause even EXO-L hate EXO-L. And they have a great article where on I guess Netizen Buzz or on Pan or whatever, where you have EXO-L's like it says like, I agree 100%. The biggest anti of EXO is EXO-L. Just look at the other fandoms. I went to Infinite Pan channel by chance, and they were so warm and nice. Other fandoms defend each other, but we're busy hating each other. So it's like even their fan base is like, come on, get your shit together.
Even their fan base is over. But I love the way that the article is just kind of put. It's a really, really, really short article. But I just love that how badly does Dio want to murder the fans? Like, and who would blame? No jury would convict him, and the Inkigayo staff would testify for him. No, he was justified.
Yeah, it's just justifiable kill. Justifiable kill. It's just, it's just as simple as that.
It's one of those things, and it's one of those things that we've talked about. One, it's because they named them wrong. They shouldn't have named them EXO-Ls. They should have named them exotics, as you said time and time again. Exactly. And two, it's like you said, it is a large fan base. You know what I'm saying? It is a
large and passionate fan base.
So like, it's hard to like always have everyone in control and do all these things. And I think in my mind, they handled it the best way they fucking could. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no other way that this could have been handled, which was just like, you go, hey, come on, let's get this shit together. Let's fucking act like adults. Let's do everything so this event can happen. And they were like, motherfuckers are still being rowdy and ruly. And they're like, you know what? This is supposed to be us showing our love for you for being the passionate, awesome fan base that you are, and you're not being that. So when that fan base shows up, then we'll fucking handle this. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, that's the way sometimes you have to talk to fucking children. You're just like, are you really gonna act like that? You're really gonna be that fucking asshole? Great, I'm gone. Peace. Deal with your own shit. When you're an adult, I'll holler at you.
Exactly. They're not mad. Like we said, they're not mad.
No, not mad.
Just disappointed with the situation.
Right.
Just disappointed with the situation. But yeah, come on, EXO-L.
Years ago, still coming up. Yeah.
Get your shit together, EXO.
Okay, I want to go into this next one. Yes. I really want to go into this next one, right?
Rap Monster talks about the diss tracks between him and iKon's Bobby. So Rap Monster talk about the diss tracks between him and him. In the song "Come Here," part of Bobby's lyrics are, "They call me a monster. I never call myself that. If talents were looks, I've been in front of bulletproof glass." This article goes on and back and forth between the kind of the examples of these lyrics and like what he said. It said on specifically his 2014 Mama stage, like, since we're not going to grab each other's throats and fight, we gain a lot from something like this. After the feedback, I had absolutely no regrets. I think I expressed myself well within the boundaries I had. He added, after the Mama stage, when BTS was walking off stage, Bobby was getting on stage, we met. He referred to the part I did and told me I did well. I told him he did well too, and we high-fived each other. But we're not that close. They high-fived each other, so they're real hip-hop. But yeah, Kaz.
First of all, okay, this is the thing, right? I give I give everything that Rat Monster said some legitimacy in the world, right? You know what I'm saying? Where he says, "Hey, he didn't like hardcore come at me. If he did come at me at all, but if he did, I defended myself." Two, you didn't fucking defend yourself. Nobody understood the fucking line that you said that you had to explain what the fuck that you said. I didn't. How was that a fucking reaction to what Bobby said to you? You know what I'm saying? Blah, right? Like Bobby's line, if it was aimed at Rat Monster, was good. And this is why Bobby is an idiot genius. If it is.
Idiot savant of hip hop.
Because he's like you tear apart that thing, right? He says, they call me a monster, I didn't call myself that, right? Where he's saying you called yourself Rat Monster, but you're not that. But I get called that because that's what I am, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't even remember what the fuck Rat Monster said.
Yeah.
Where is it?
He replied at them saying, "Put your guard up and try to keep up, rapper. You're a tone-deaf rapper." Of course, this is translated. Rappers can express, and then he explained that the rap was more of a feedback than a diss towards a specific person. Rappers can express what they want to say through their raps. It's like,
okay, hold on, right?
Again, one of these kids trying to explain what rap is to us. Like,
you go. I think he dissed me, so I fired some shots back. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then you go, but it wasn't meant to be like me firing shots back. What? Yes, it is you firing shots back. This is the good parts of rap. A fun, like, vibrant, like, jab at each other is what rap is. And I love the way that underlined it was handled, where they go, there's really no animosity, it's just poking fun at each other, you know? But we're not friends. That doesn't mean that we're now friends or that we're now anything. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's what it is. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
it's similar. It's something that was similarly discussed amongst, I want to say, what was it? Timey and Jolly V they talked about it on Pre-Rap Star. Timey and Jolly V have a similar thing where they go back and forth on each other. And they're like, well,
mad.
It's like, I don't like her. I mean, and then but they talked like they just kind of joked with each other when they were in the thing, but they never looked at each other like, no, we're not that close. I've never hung out with her. We're not close. We legitimately don't like each other. It's like, but we're being cordial. But it was similar to that. But yeah, I'm always like, anytime some kid from Korean hip hop decides he wants to explain how hip hop is, I'm like, there's always an instinct to want to side eye them. I'm like what? Okay, sure. But yeah, I wish. I either wish they weren't doing this and just focus on their own thing, or I wish they would just kind of just go, or we're good enough to go. Like, I don't know. This is just like this odd, uncomfortable, non-beef. Like, it's like tofu beef or whatever.
You know what's weirdly funny is we got more excited about the possible rap battle between Zyko and Bobby than we are about this Rap Monster Bobby one. And I think that's because we're like, Bobby wins. You're just like, But like, Zyko Bobby is exciting because, Bobby is idiot savant and fucking Zyko is a good lyricist,
Yeah.
I understand tough cookie exists. I know.
Yes.
I understand. Just stay with me. But
yeah.
Even with that, yeah.
Yes. But yeah, let's see some better beefs in Korean hip hop. This is have some good stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, and some creativity. But moving on. Matsuko Deluxe says AKB opening the Tokyo Olympics would embarrass Japan. Cross-dressing, larger-than-life talent Matsuko Deluxe is well known for her sharp tongue, particularly where pretty ladies are concerned. This week, the target of her ire is idol groups like AKB48. On a radio show Monday, she slammed the idea of them performing for the Tokyo Olympics as, quote, embarrassing, end quote. The comments came apart as a discussion about the announcement by AKB's 48's producer, Yasushi Akimoto, regarding his desire to create a Japan 48 group to perform at the Olympics. It's like, that is, it's like, I absolutely don't want them to perform at the opening ceremony. As long as they aren't part of the opening and closing ceremonies, I don't care what they do. But please use somebody for the opening and closing ceremonies that wouldn't be an embarrassment. This is an interesting discussion that I think is happening amongst Japanese netizens. During one of Bryce's streams, kind of had an interesting discussion in the chat with him about the current state of J-pop, how as much as fun as like the AKB48 groups are, there is a little bit of a stagnation, and they kind of are at the core of that. But, and there's the Asian Junkie article about dear leader Akimoto and his plans. I don't know, you are an AKB48 guy.
Yeah, all right. So I initially came at this as like, oh my God, what? Hold on. I was really going to go really, really, really hard. I forgot we were recording this. I initially came at this from the ideal that, this was just a really loudmouth personality being a loudmouth personality. But I do understand some people's whatever about it. But at the same time, we've been over this time and time again. Music is this fundamental thing that is for fun and all this kind of shit. What do you want to fucking put a fucking Japanese folk band out there playing fucking songs of their leader, like kind of shit? Like what the, it's not a hardcore, the AKB and those kind of things are already kind of what people think Japan is, right? And whether you're cool with that or not, it's not the full representation of what you are. You know what I'm saying? Like it is just this one facet of fucking life. And AKB knows how to fucking do things correctly. They're fucking entertainers. They know how to entertain, and that is what their job would be at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to come to this conclusion that, like, these Japanese girls can't be the best representation of Japanese people is, like, one of the stupidest fucking things ever. Would I be super fucking happy if, like, fucking Lady Gaga was performing at the Olympics? Which most likely, if the Olympics were here in America, it would probably be people like Lady Gaga, fucking Katy Perry, and shit like that. They're not gonna fucking roll out Neil Diamond or some fucking shit, or the fucking 48th, 96th gospel choir to sing Amazing Grace. Like, they're gonna fucking roll out fucking goddamn Lady Gaga. You know what I'm saying? I'm not super pissed about that in any way, shape, or form, because you know what? When you think of American entertainment, that's the type of people that you fucking think about. Like tickle your dick, get over it. Like, what do you want? I don't get that mental thing that people are like, oh, that thing is fucking dumb and not a great representation of our people. That is your people. And yeah, it's fucking like J-pop might be super stagnant at the moment, right? But it is the most cookie cutter friendly thing that there is. You're not going to put J-Rock up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to put Visual K up there. You're not going to put a lot of these other things up there. It is an event where people fucking run around and earn medals. Like, it is not this fucking world. Like, I'm sorry, I understand it's the Olympics and it has some whatever for certain people. Like, but it's fucking games that are about that are supposed to be about fun and unification of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why can't we have something fun be the representation of that? Why does it have to be this like old like you know what? Let's do this. Let's for every fucking country from now on for the Olympics, we'll roll a fucking old man out there in a fucking army uniform and he'll sing whatever national anthem it is every single time. Because that's a great representation of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bam, spot the fuck on.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Seriously. Like
I will say, yeah, it
fuck that fat bitch in the Twinkie she rode in on.
I will say that I will be one to champion, let's say, not just a 48 group in the opening ceremonies. Let's have 48 group. And let's have Sekai no Awadi perform. And Kyari Pami Pamu there. You know, let's have other kind of, you know, and then, you know, traditional like Japanese stuff around it, and it's probably going to be that, but you know, not wanting AKB48 there, or you know, a representation of the 48verse when it is that a huge aspect of the pop culture of Japan. Yes, it is, you know, very mainstream, very kind of a specific aspect of the pop culture, just like, you know, groups like One Direction, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, and, you know, all those are in other cultures, but it is there, and, you know, it would make for an interesting opening ceremony. I understand there should be a diversity, not just the 48verse taking over, but they should definitely be represented. There's also the additional interesting thing that apparently Akimoto wants to form a Niigata 48 and one in the Philippines. Because you know what? Manifest Destiny. The Manifest Destiny of J-pop. They're taking...
It's sweeping over the world. I'm waiting for America 48.
Yeah. Like, that's going to be interesting. Like, USA 40. Yeah, USA 48. There you go. That would be interesting. They're just gonna just slowly seep in there like Hydra.
Right. Like these will be the armed like mechanized units, and then Kiari Pamu Pamu will be like the person in like the really cool fucking like military uniform with a hat, like commanding everything.
So it's like I thought you weren't associated with the 48verse. You thoughts are wrong. Hail 48. It's like Hydra.
It's like hail Kiari and her 48 army.
Yes. But yes. That brings us to the end of another fabulous episode of Hallyujuku. We're another fun episode. A lot of like rambling, but a lot of fun.
I yelled a lot. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay? I apologize. But sometimes things get to me. And that's what I do. That's why people love me. Not really.
Kaz, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
I am preparing to try to go to a convention in the upcoming weeks. If you want to sponsor me, you could head over to about.me/KingKaz and figure out how to send me money to sponsor me.
Yes. About.me/KingKaz. I will say, as for me, like I said, I've been teasing the fact that I've got plans for expanding, you know, the content that's going to be represented on Rebelli TV, the YouTube channel. But, you know, look what came in the mail this week. Oh. GoPro. A GoPro. Oh, and one of them handy recorder things with the audio recording, because fucking GoPro audio sucks balls. So there's that audio recorder. I've got a selfie stick and a bunch of other accessories. So there's gonna be stuff, because I paid several $100s for all this stuff, so I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it. I promise you that. So look forward to that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/rebellitv. Subscribe to there. I'm gonna be adding more stuff. I'm probably gonna, as soon as I get, you know, everything together, I'm probably gonna plan my first video And it's going to be an adventure to the grocery store. Maybe doing some black bean noodles, some jjajangmyeon. Seeing what I can find in the grocery store and make some jjajangmyeon.
Mm-hmm.
Look forward to that. But that's it. That's the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the show, Hallyujuku, hallyujuku.com or kpoppodcast.com. Follow us at Hallyujuku on Twitter. Rebellion.net for all this and the other shows. iTunes, Stitcher, a bunch of other places. A bunch of other places you can catch podcasts. But that's it. Until next time. Hasta los huevos. And you.
I did the fighting part too early. Go watch all those movies.